You think you're a good dog owner. You feed them on time, take them for walks, give them toys. But right now, as you're watching this video, you might be doing something that's slowly damaging your dog's health and happiness. And you have no idea. Most dog owners don't hurt their pets on purpose, but there are things we do every single day that we think are harmless or even helpful that are actually causing real problems for our dogs. Some of these mistakes seem so normal that almost everyone makes them. And the scary part is that by the time you notice something's wrong, the damage might already be done. Today I'm going to show you 7 ways you might be hurting your dog without even knowing it, and more importantly, how to fix them before it's too late. Here's what most people don't understand. Dogs can't tell us when something is bothering them the way humans can. They can't say, hey, that thing you're doing is actually really stressful for me, or this is causing me pain. Instead, they suffer in silence, or they show signs that we completely miss because we just don't know what to look for. And this creates a huge problem, because you could be the most loving, caring dog owner in the world, spending hundreds of dollars on the best food and the nicest bed, taking your dog to the vet regularly, doing everything you think is right. But if you're making even 1 or 2 of these mistakes, you could be undoing all of that good work without realizing it. The worst part is that some of these things are so common that you've probably seen other dog owners doing them too. Maybe you learned them from a friend or saw them online, or just assumed they were fine because everyone else does them. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's right. And your dog is counting on you to know the difference. Let's start with the first way you might be hurting your dog, and this is probably the most common mistake on this entire list. Mistake number 1. Using a retractable leash. I know. These leashes seem amazing. Your dog gets to roam around, explore, have some freedom, and you don't have to hold a long leash. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. Retractable leashes are actually dangerous for multiple reasons. First, they teach your dog to pull. Think about it. Every time your dog walks forward, the leash extends, which means they're getting rewarded for pulling. This creates a habit that becomes harder and harder to break over time. Your dog learns that pulling equals freedom, and before you know it, walks become a nightmare. Second, these leashes give you almost zero control in emergency situations. If another dog rushes up to yours, or if your dog suddenly bolts toward the street, that thin cord isn't going to stop them. And the locking mechanism. It takes precious seconds to engage, seconds you don't have when danger appears. Third, and this is the part most people don't think about, those thin cords can cause serious injuries. There are documented cases of dogs getting tangled in these leashes and suffering cuts, burns from the cord pulling across their skin, and even broken bones. People have lost fingers when the cord wrapped around their hand and their dog suddenly pulled. These aren't rare incidents. They happen more often than you'd think. The solution is simple. Use a standard 6-foot leash. It gives your dog enough room to walk comfortably while keeping them close enough for you to maintain control. Your dog will learn better leash manners, you'll have more control, and everyone stays safer. Mistake number 2, hugging your dog. This one hurts to hear because we all do it. We hug our dogs because we love them, because they're cute, because it makes us feel good. But here's the truth that most people don't want to accept. Dogs don't like being hugged. I'm not making this up. Studies have been done on this. Researchers analyzed photos of people hugging their dogs and looked at the dog's body language. Over 80% of the dogs showed signs of stress and discomfort. Things like turning their head away, showing the whites of their eyes, pinning their ears back, licking their lips, keeping their mouth closed tight. Dogs aren't wired like humans. When we hug someone, it's a sign of love and affection. But for dogs, being held in place with something wrapped around them triggers their flight response. You're basically trapping them, and even though they love you and trust you, their instinct is telling them they need to get away. Now, some dogs tolerate hugs because they've been conditioned to accept them. They know you're not actually a threat, but tolerating something isn't the same as enjoying it. And for some dogs, especially those with anxiety or past trauma, hugging can actually trigger a fear response that might lead to snapping or biting. Does this mean your dog doesn't love you? No. It just means they show love differently. They show it by leaning against you, following you around, bringing you toys, wagging their tail when you come home. Respect their boundaries. If you want to show affection, Pet them on the chest or side instead of wrapping your arms around them. Mistake number 3. Leaving your dog alone in the car. You've probably heard this one before, but people still do it all the time. They think, I'm just running in for 5 minutes, the windows are cracked, it's not that hot out. And then those 5 minutes turn into 15 and what seemed fine becomes deadly. Here's what actually happens inside a car. Even on a mild day, like 70 degrees outside, the temperature inside a car can reach over 100 degrees in less than 30 minutes. Cracking the windows barely makes a difference, and dogs overheat much faster than humans because they can't sweat like we do. They only cool down by panting, which isn't very efficient when they're trapped in a hot space. But it's not just about the heat. Even in cooler weather, leaving your dog in the car is stressful for them. They don't know where you went. They don't know if you're coming back. They might bark and whine until their throat is raw. Other people might tap on the windows or crowd around, which makes the stress even worse. And before you say, but I can see the car from inside the store, let me tell you what can go wrong. Someone could break your window to save your dog. Your dog could knock the gear shift and cause the car to roll. Another dog or person could approach and upset your dog so much that they hurt themselves trying to defend the car. The solution is obvious. If you can't bring your dog inside with you, leave them at home. It's that simple. No errand is worth the risk. Mistake number 4. Punishing your dog after the fact. Picture this scenario. You come home from work and find that your dog had an accident on the floor or chewed up your shoes or destroyed a pillow. So you grab the dog, show them what they did and scold them. You think you're teaching them not to do it again, but you're not. All you're doing is confusing and scaring them. Dogs live in the present moment. They don't connect actions from hours ago with consequences happening right now. When you punish them for something they did earlier, they have no idea why you're angry. They just know that you came home, and suddenly you're upset and now they're scared. That guilty look you think you see, that's not guilt. That's fear and submission. Your dog has learned that when you come home and find a mess, you get angry. So they show submissive body language to try to calm you down. But they still don't understand what they did wrong. This kind of punishment damages your relationship with your dog. They start to fear you coming home because they never know if you're going to be happy or angry. It creates anxiety and stress that can actually lead to more behavioral problems, not fewer. If you want to correct a behavior, you need to catch your dog in the act. That's the only time they can make the connection between the action and the consequence. Otherwise, you're just teaching them that you're unpredictable and scary, which is the opposite of what you want. Mistake number 5. Not training your dog because they're small. There's this weird idea that small dogs don't need training because they're not dangerous. You see small dogs jumping on people, barking constantly, pulling on the leash, snapping at hands, and owners just laugh it off like it's cute. But here's the thing. That behavior isn't cute. It's stressful for the dog and annoying for everyone else. And more importantly, untrained small dogs are usually unhappy dogs. Dogs need structure and boundaries to feel secure, regardless of their size. When you don't train a small dog, they often become anxious and defensive because they think they have to protect themselves and make all the decisions. That's a huge burden for an animal that weighs less than 10 pounds. Plus, untrained small dogs are more likely to get hurt. They run up to big dogs who don't appreciate the invasion of space. They dart outdoors and into streets. They bite people who try to pet them and end up with behavioral labels that could have been prevented. Every dog deserves training. Teaching basic commands like sit, stay, come and leave it can literally save your dog's life one day. And the process of training strengthens your bond and builds your dog's confidence. It's not about dominating them or crushing their spirit. It's about giving them the tools to navigate the world safely. Mistake number 6, using physical punishment. This should be obvious, but apparently it still needs to be said. Hitting, kicking, spanking, or using any form of physical punishment on your dog is not training. It's abuse, and it doesn't work. When you hit a dog, you're not teaching them what to do instead of the unwanted behavior. You're just teaching them to fear you. They might stop the behavior in that moment because they're scared, but they haven't learned anything except that you're dangerous. Physical punishment damages trust. Dogs who are hit by their owners become anxious, fearful, and sometimes aggressive. They might start hiding, flinching when you reach for them, or even lashing out in self-defense. And once you've broken that trust, it's incredibly hard to rebuild. There are so many effective, humane training methods available now. Positive reinforcement, where you reward the behaviors you want to see, has been proven over and over again to work better than punishment. It creates confident, happy dogs who want to work with you instead of dogs who obey out of fear. If you've been using physical punishment, stop now. Find a positive reinforcement trainer or watch some videos from reputable sources. Your relationship with your dog will improve immediately. Mistake number 7, ignoring dental care. This is the mistake that almost everyone makes, and it's one of the most damaging in the long run. Most dog owners never brush their dog's teeth. They figure dogs don't brush their teeth in the wild, so it must not be necessary. But domesticated dogs live longer than wild dogs, and they eat different food, which means dental problems that wild dogs wouldn't live long enough to experience become major issues for our pets. By the age of 3, most dogs have some form of dental disease. That includes inflamed gums, tartar buildup, and bacteria growing in their mouth. And this isn't just about bad breath. Dental disease is painful. Imagine having a constant toothache that you can't tell anyone about and that never gets treated. But it gets worse. The bacteria from dental disease doesn't stay in the mouth. It enters the bloodstream and can damage the heart, liver, and kidneys. There are documented cases of dogs developing serious organ problems because their owners never took care of their teeth. And dental cleanings at the vet are expensive, often costing hundreds of dollars, and they require anesthesia, which carries its own risks. Prevention is so much easier and cheaper than treatment. The solution is to brush your dog's teeth at least a few times a week with dog-specific toothpaste. Yes, it takes time to get your dog used to it. Start slow, make it positive, use lots of treats. There are also dental chews and water additives that can help, though brushing is still the gold standard. Your dog's teeth are directly connected to their overall health and quality of life. Don't ignore them just because it seems like extra work. So now, you know these 7 mistakes, and if you're being honest with yourself, you're probably guilty of at least 1 or 2 of them. Maybe you felt defensive reading some of these, or maybe you felt guilty. That's normal. But here's what matters now. What are you going to do with this information? You can close this video and forget about it. Keep doing things the same way because change is hard. Or you can decide right now that you're going to be better for your dog. Because these aren't difficult fixes. None of them require special skills or a lot of money. They just require you to care enough to make different choices. Your dog can't advocate for themselves. They can't research online or ask questions or demand better treatment. They're completely dependent on you to protect them, even from your own mistakes, and they trust you completely, even when you get it wrong. Let's recap. Stop using retractable leashes and switch to a standard leash. Stop hugging your dog and show affection in ways they actually enjoy. Never leave your dog alone in the car, no matter how quick you think you'll be. Don't punish your dog after the fact when they can't understand what they did wrong. Train your dog regardless of their size. Never use physical punishment, ever. And take care of your dog's teeth before dental disease becomes a serious problem. These changes will make your dog healthier, happier, and safer. And they'll strengthen the bond between you and your dog because you'll be meeting their needs instead of accidentally working against them. If these tips were helpful to you, please leave a like and subscribe as a form of support. If you didn't like them, I appreciate your comment so we can further improve our content. Thank you, and see you next time.